Right here, this item up here, I get to cross that off today, which is really good news. I love crossing stuff off a to-do list. But I want to talk today about why I think to-do lists are a very individualized thing, and you should not have a team to-do list. You should not have anything that has team task management on it. I think it's a terrible idea. Why would I say this is such a terrible idea? I mean, there's an entire industry built around productivity and project management that has these shared to-do lists at its core, and I've used a lot of them and I've wanted them to work, and we even use shared to-do lists with our clients, but on the whole, they're not scalable. They don't work across the board, and I think it's because there's a fundamental problem with trusting your to-dos to a system instead of trusting your to-dos to a person. Here's what I mean. I'm going to enlist the help of our two Lego friends here. Let's say that Space Lego Man, he has a project, a task that he wants to delegate, and he's gonna delegate it to Construction Lego Man. This represents their shared to-do list platform. He's relying on Construction Man to come into the to-do system, notice what he's supposed to do all the things that he's supposed to do to it, eventually turn it into whatever the next thing is, and then assign it back to Spaceman, and then go back and do whatever he's supposed to do. But this hardly ever works. Silly illustration, right? But here's the whole point that I'm trying to make. The problem with these systems is that they abdicate the responsibility to communicate and hold people accountable to a piece of software or a methodology. And people love these systems. They love these applications. They love these shared to-do list things. And the reason that they love them is not because they help them get more stuff done. The reason that they love them is because it allows them to abdicate the very hard work of holding people accountable and communicating with them about the things that they're trying to delegate. Just because I'm against some universal repository application system for keeping track of everybody's to-dos doesn't mean I don't have a very strong opinion about how this stuff should get done. There's 3 simple rules. These are the things that I like preach over and over and over again to clients. 2, 3, but here's the 3 that I want to share with you today. Number 1, always keep a list. Now, this list has to be with you at all times. You guys have heard me talk about this before, my note-taking system and to-do lists and all that kind of stuff. Always keep a list. What goes on the list? What goes on the list is anything that I have to get done. Anything that people are expecting back from me. And point number 2, track what people owe you. This goes back to, I think this is a getting things done thing, but I started doing this long time ago when I first started working with clients. One of the things that I would do is when I would talk to somebody and I would say, here are the things that I need to finish your work, here's the things I need to finish your tax return, here's the things I need to finish your projection, and I would tell them, this is what you owe me. I would write that down somewhere. I would put it in my phone, or I'd type it on a spreadsheet on the computer, or I'd put it in my to-do manager, or whatever. And I would also put the date. And when I was talking to that person like a week later or 2 weeks later, or when they called me and they're like, where's my stuff, where's my stuff? I look at my list because I could remember. I'm like, I know I asked them for this stuff. And I remember that it was somewhere. I'd go back to my list. Sure enough, there it was. And I would go, oh, I'm sorry, Mrs. Jones. I remember we talked on the 14th of January, and I told you these were the 4 things that I needed from you. And on the 14th of January, you said that would take you about a week to get that stuff back. And it's been 3 weeks. Do you need some more time? And you know what Mrs. Jones would say? She would say, oh, I'm sorry. I've been working on that. Give me a couple more days. But you know what Mrs. Jones was thinking? He knows what he's talking about. It gives you instant credibility. It also makes sure that when you delegate really important stuff, it never has an opportunity to fall into a black hole. Always, always, always track what people owe you. For a manager, this is absolutely critical. You cannot manage effectively unless you're tracking what people owe you. And for me, that stuff goes on my list. Number 3, always confirm receipt. This goes to the heart of what Mr. Construction Man and Mr. Spaceman were dealing with in their shared failed task management system. Most people entrust a system to get things from one person to another. The problem is they may physically get the thing from one person to another, meaning it may show up, it may go from my list to their list, but it does not confirm that they understand that they are now responsible for this. That is a communication thing. That's something that I am responsible for communicating to the other person, that I'm delegating this to them, and I need to get them to acknowledge that they've received it. Always confirm receipt. That's something that you should just ingrain into your very being. If I'm gonna ask somebody to do something, I'm gonna get acknowledgement back from them that they understand they're responsible for it. And that includes the time frame for delivery, the expectations of scope, that they understand or believe that they're technically competent and proficient to do it, all of that stuff. A to-do system can confirm receipt, but it can't always confirm understanding. That's a relational component of working with other people. And you can't delegate that stuff to a system. You can't abdicate it to a system. You just need to do the hard work. So get your own system. Make sure everybody in your organization has their own system. If they're not tech savvy, use pencil and paper. If they love their iOS devices, there's a million options for them. If they're spreadsheet geeks, let them go to town in Excel. If they want a big whiteboard because they're more tactile and they want to see everything in one place, get them a whiteboard. I don't care what system they use, as long as it follows these 3 rules. If they live by the 3 rules, everybody's gonna be just fine. See you guys tomorrow. Always keep a list. For me, that means a pen and paper, always. Except I don't have it right now.